Hi everyone, it's Carl Detkin from CHAUVET, and we're here for another installment of Master the Ceremony. And we are very honored right now to have a radio icon, Richard Blade. And Richard, for some of our younger audience, why don't you tell me a little bit about your history?
Well, I first came to America as Richard Blade on the world famous Gay Rock in Pasadena, and played music there for 18 and a half years. And I think you, growing up in Newport, probably used to listen to K-Rock, right? Absolutely, yeah. In Southern California. And at the same time, I did a lot of TV and quite a few movies as well. I did Video One, MV3, Video Beat, Rock and Roll Evening News for TV. And film-wise, I did a movie with Depeche Mode called 101, and then other films myself, like Spellcaster, which actually Adam Ant was in, and Girls Just Want to Have Fun with Helen Hunt and Sarah Jessica Parker. And then I joined Movie Time, which became E, and was one of the first hosts of E, along with Greg Kinnear. And then I started in 2003 a series on VH1 called Bands Reunited, which I produced, where we put 80s groups like Frankie Goes to Hollywood back together. And then in late 2003, a little satellite network was starting up called Sirius, and they approached me, and I've been with them ever since. When I started with Sirius, we had 230,000 subscribers, and now I think it's close to 23 million. So I can be heard every day on Channel 33, which is like a classic alternative channel, with my own show from noon until 6. And then at weekends, I do the Countdown for the Spectrum, which is bands like John Mayer and Adele. And I also, for everyone who loves a little EDM, I'm the voice of Electric Area, which is Channel 52. So I'm the one who introduces Tiesto and Armin van Buuren and David Guetta and Diplo and Skrillex and all that. So I do a lot of stuff on SiriusXM, but every weekend, every Friday and Saturday, and quite often during the week as well, like this weekend coming, 4 gigs, I'm out there doing mobiles, and my lights, honestly, I'm not lying, are always your lights. I love them. I have twin mini bars on my speaker tops that I have up there, and then the full mini bar. I haven't gone wireless yet. And I have, you and I were talking off camera about the CHAUVET Eclipse RGB laser and LED, and I just love your lights. I think they're great. I think they really bring some impact when I'm DJing live.
That's wonderful. Now you have a very unique New York accent.
That's right.
Where did you originally come from?
Yeah, well, New Jersey, and then no, I was actually born in a little town in England called Bristol, and I grew up on the south coast, and I went to college in Oxford, so my accent isn't like a regional accent of England, because sometimes in England they talk like this, so I've got like a very neutral English accent. If English people don't know where I'm from in England, they just know I'm English. But I came over here, but my accent never went away because I go back and visit Mum. And so she would be like giving me a shot of the accent every time I saw her.
That's beautiful. Now, I always find it interesting that parts of the entertainment industry, like movie and film and TV, move into DJ entertainment, like Tommy Lee from Motley Crue, Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton recently. What made you, or what got you to move into mobile entertainment?
Well, you know, I actually started as a mobile DJ when I was 18 years old, and radio came afterwards. And when I was doing radio, I always worked live. Radio, you're in a booth and you're just talking to a wall. But when you're working live, you've got a crowd, whether it's 50 people or 5,000 people. Like I got a gig we're talking about on Sunday, and it's going to be 6,000 people. They've sold those many tickets already. And so that's great, because that really tests you as a DJ, because you're seeing your audience. You've got to keep them entertained. You've got to keep them dancing, make sure they have a good time. On the radio, you're just facing that blank wall and hoping there's listeners. So I've always worked live. I worked live before radio, I worked live during radio, and I work live on my days off, because I think that's so important. That's, I think, what a real DJ is, someone who can actually work the gear themselves.
It's very interesting how you've gone into many different genres, including electric dance now. Is it something you recommend to mobile entertainers to not just be stuck in a certain, whether doing bar mitzvahs or weddings or electric dance or whatever genre they're in? Would you recommend to them to look at all different areas of entertainment and music?
Well, I think it's really important that you know your job. And as a DJ, I think you should know all kinds of music. Because even if you're a specialist, even if you just do weddings, and so you're going to be playing Frank Sinatra, The Way You Look Tonight, and you're going to be playing, you know, the Cha-Cha Slide and stuff like that at every single gig, you're going to get requests for David Guetta, and you're going to get requests for Skrillex. And if you don't know the music and you say no, or you put on a Skrillex at an older wedding, you're going to make a mistake. You've got to know the music. So I think it's like knowing the gear. You know, a good working DJ should be able to work the gear blindfolded, should be able to put it together and break it down blindfolded, and should know all of the music. Even if you're specialized, I'm looked at as Mr. 80s, but I can talk Diplo with you all day long because I love electronic dance music. I can also talk about Frank Sinatra and jazz because they're all legitimate forms of music. And I think that's just important. Hone your craft, even if you just mix, even if you just do EDM, listen to Duran Duran and Depeche Mode, because maybe you can work in a break from Rio, or just can't get enough into your set and get the crowd to really scream. I think it's important.
Now, I find that 80s music is evergreen. It never goes away. What do you think the magic was that the 80s music captured, that it's still popular, almost as popular as it was in the 80s? What do you think they captured back then that is still making it have shelf life?
Well, the amazing thing about that, Carl, and we're in Vegas. We were walking through the casino here the other day, and all that was playing was 80s music, nothing else. You never go to a casino, you never go to an elevator, you never go to a supermarket and hear 90s music. 90s music did not work. Right now, rock is in a bad place. Rock was in a great place in the 80s. Today, it's a golden age for pop and for hip hop and for electronic dance music. The 80s, it was a mixture of rock and pop, and it was fun. It was usually upbeat. It was usually about sex, and it was usually happy music as well. Having said that, at the time, we never thought it would still be around. We thought it was going to be completely disposable. We didn't think Tears for Fears and Duran Duran would be played in 2012 or 13 or 14, but it's proved me wrong. It's great music, and people love it. And the amazing thing is, I'll do a gig, and I'll get 12-year-olds coming up asking for Aha, Take On Me. And I'm like, you know, you were negative 19 when this song came out, and I'll play it, and they know every single word. And I think they hear a lot of it on Grand Theft Auto and in the video games. And also, they get the music from Dad's iPod or iTunes, and they'll have that on shuffle. So they hear 311, and they'll hear Green Day, and they'll hear The Killers, and then they hear Aha and Duran. And to them, it's not segmented into decades, it's just good music. If a crappy 80s song comes on, they'll hit next. But if a crappy 2012 song comes on, they'll hit next. So I think that's the popularity. It was fun, it was upbeat, and kids still love it.
If there was one experience or event in your life that you'd say was the most monumental or special for you, which one would that be?
Wow. It would have to be two concerts, if I can say that. Both would have been concerts. And coming to America, I mean, was just huge. And I left everything I was doing in England and Europe. I was DJing in Europe and coming to America because I wanted to be here and part of America. And I'm an American citizen now, very proud of it. But musically, event-wise, I would say the US festivals, which were in 82 and 83, walking on stage in front of 250,000 people was unbelievable. And I remember introducing bands like The Clash and U2 and Berlin and the B-52s and In Excess in front of 250,000 people. That was mind-blowing. And the other was Depeche Mode's 101 concert at the Rose Bowl. I'd done all the intros, and Depeche Mode were going to be coming on in 20 minutes. They had an intro tape that always plays called Pumpf, P-M-P-F. Look it up on the CD. And suddenly a food fight broke out in the Rose Bowl. 86,000 people throwing food. And the Rose Bowl is massive. I mean, we're talking 250 feet. And the promoter of the concert, Brian Murphy, came running up to me and said, the Pasadena Police Department are closing down the concert unless you can stop the people throwing food. And I had to go out there and tell 86,000 people to stop throwing food. And I knew what they were going to do. They were going to throw it at me. But it was amazing, and Depeche Mode literally walked out with me because they had to hurry into the concert, otherwise it was going to be closed down. And to have the guys from Depeche Mode all standing with me going, all right, get out there, it's going to be great, Richard, was an amazing moment. And then I walk off stage, and I had to wait for about 5 minutes to get down because of security, etc. I sit down, and who's sitting next to me? The guys from U2 backstage watching the show. It was that monumental, and those kind of memories really stay with me. It was amazing.
Richard, where would our audience go and learn more about you? I know you said Sirius, if you can repeat what channel that is,
absolutely.
and your website too.
Absolutely. On Sirius XM, you can find me. I'm on 7 days a week, but Monday through Friday from noon until 6, that is Pacific time, but it's all across the US and Canada. If you want to find my website, which has, specific times and other channels, including the EDM channel, which is Electric Area, my website's richardblade.com, and you can join me on Facebook. It's Richard Blade Page.
Richard, it's been an honor to have you on our new series, Master the Ceremony, and the best of luck to you, and I hope you're around for another 100 years.
Thank you so much, Carl.